County.
What would be?
Well, I mean, I'll just name them off. The people that we have on the board right now, we have Garrett Brooks from Jamestown, Ted Bogdan from Jamestown, John Penhollow from Sinclairville, Margaret Lawrence from Forestville, Mike Rogers of Bemis Point, Paula Gavin of Dunkirk, Maureen Morbido of Silver Creek, our president John Hamels of Ripley, Dave Thomas of Jamestown, and Jeff Gossett of Fredonia. Of course, myself, I'm one of the 11. And these people represent a variety of areas. They represent business, transportation, engineers, surveyors, education, health, accounting, and local community officials. So we have a wide range of expertise on the board, and they bring a lot of wealth of information to the county planning board. And especially, they spend a lot of volunteer time, especially during capital
free.
Projects.
Nobody gets paid on this.
Yeah, it is free.
So you can't save any money by slashing the number or the salary. So
it's all a volunteer
no savings
board.
there, caller.
And they spend, when we start reviewing capital projects, which usually begins, end of April and through May, we meet every Tuesday for 4 to 5 weeks, and they've anywhere from 4 to 6 hour meetings at a shot. So
okay, thank you.
There's a lot of review.
All right, now I have a question for you. All right, you've been saying this term about 3 or 4 times now, the word capital. Okay, I would guess that some folks may not understand that. And what do you mean by the county planning board reviews capital projects?
Capital projects. Okay, capital projects for the county is essentially the way it's defined in the county charter is it's any project that's over $5,000.
Okay, so a truck.
A truck would become under capital projects.
Okay, some computers.
Computers, anything, replacements of, the IT department, of the mainframes and
Could it be
switches and such.
Road repair?
Road repair comes under capital projects.
It could be a lot of different things.
It could be a lot of things. The capital project fund basically is derived from interest earnings on county investments. That's the amount of money that we have to work with in capital projects.
So this is a set aside?
It's a set aside.
Like investments or
something? Set aside
like
account, yes.
And so they're taking off the interest?
The interest that comes from these investments is what is available in general for capital projects.
Okay.
And from years past, when I first got on the board, we were looking at about $2 million to work with a year. We're down to about $750,000 now.
Whew.
So the capital project list is getting
about a third.
Shorter and shorter as we go. And we review each project, and the projects will consist of replacing furnaces in the buildings, the air conditioning systems, runways on the airport, airport investments, investments in the county home, carts, and the
carts as in the bus system.
Carts, yeah, yep,
okay.
The bus system. The sheriff's department. Of course, vehicles. The vehicles request, we group the vehicles into a separate line item to go through the vehicles request. Because for vehicles, basically each department has set up an account where when they purchase a new vehicle, they'll pull money out of their line item fund for it, and then they replace that line item through the year out of their operating budget. So
okay,
that's kind
I
of
digress for a moment.
Okay.
The folks know that I've been kind of talking about this. Reed has his pet projects, and I made a promise to my folks and friends at the county home that I would bring this up on a regular basis. This morning in the paper says county seeks marketing firm for county home. All right. Now, the county home, does that come under the county planning board's
Presently, the county home does come under the capital project review,
okay.
Yes.
So, do you guys oversee this, or as far as the sale of
the sale of the home? We have not been involved in looking at the sale of the home. Over the years, when we're reviewing capital projects, we will bring up questions, should we be doing this, and that. But the county set up an independent group to review the county home and seeing if we, how they're doing and what we could do to make changes there to make it profitable. Personal opinion, I think they asked the wrong question first. Personally, I think they should have been asking, is this a service we want to provide for our county?
And the answer to you is?
Well,
what do you think?
I think it should be.
I agree. And so does my buddy Joe, 98 years old, that lives there.
The county home, you're providing excellent care for our elderly. They do a fantastic job.
It's great there.
as I grow older, you know, I would like to go to some, you know, if I have to go into a home, that would be a place I'd like to go.
Yeah.
You know, our elderly were, you know, that was our workforce.
Yeah.
For years,
They
for
took
past
care of
years,
us for
they took
years
care of
ago.
us as we were growing up. It's one of the services I wouldn't mind paying taxes to provide
Okay.
for. But that's me. I'm one
you're the
person.
you're the chairman of the county planning board, not the county legislature.
Well, I am. Yep, I am speaking. You know, as a personal opinion. I'm not, you know, speaking on behalf of the planning board by any means.
Okay.
But that's, you know, I think when you're researching things like that, you know, you need to ask certain questions ahead of time. And that's one of the questions that I haven't seen anybody answer. I mean, obviously, if they're looking at selling it, they're thinking it's maybe not a service we should be
Or it's a
providing.
losing cause, and I know that's one of the things, and I understand that.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, I mean, it's,
But going back to your first thought there is that we want to make sure that it's a solvent organization, it's taking care of our elderly who served us for many, many years, and it's a place that they can maintain their dignity and so forth and have a good living situation. So, all right, getting back to this this capital thing. So you guys are reviewing these projects that they're proposing. Now, if I'm doing the math right, this comes off of investments, the money that the $750,000.
Yes.
But with the economy doing what it's doing, if your capital is based on investments, we're in trouble.
yeah.
And so
I mean,
therefore, it looks like we're going to have less projects being done and paid for. So what's going to take care? I don't know. I see a lot about the airport and our roads and vehicles. Who's going to pay for all that? Is it going to get done?
Well, I mean, you like airports, you know, the big portion of their funding on these capital projects, you know, it's portion of it's funded through state and federal dollars. So the county only puts in, you know, 5% of the total cost. So when, you know, I'm going to back up a little bit on when we review capital projects, we have a ranking form, you know, that we fill out.
Okay.
And we take each project, and there's various issues that we rank. And one of them is an outside funding source. And on our present ranking form, if the project is funded by whether state or capital or federal dollars or through grants, it's highly ranked. You know, those projects can be ranked higher because you're leveraging more dollars.
You're bringing in dollars from the federal
dollars from
government or
outside,
whatever. Okay.
which is important on initially going into these capital projects. But the other side of this is those fundings are there only for the development and the building of the capital.
Right.
Once it's in place, it comes the county cost to operate and maintain that, you know, that project from then on.
So what you're thinking is that,
So-
you know, it's wonderful to get this, whatever it is,
Right.
but then what's the ongoing support
Ongoing
and
costs,
upkeep, and
and
that's what you got to think
That's where
about.
we look at, you know, we have a 6-year capital plan that we also look at, and we look at departments to submit each year. And that's where they come in, you know, this capital project is, you know, they're building whatever. What's the cost of maintaining this for the next 6 years, and where are those funds going to look at? Too often you see a project will be coming and it says, well, I mean, we're at the end of the year, we'll approve this now, we can push that funding, if we bond it in 2012, we can push the first payment of that bond out to 2013. Well, that kind of thinking is part of what got us into the
Right.
trouble we're in now.
You're mortgaging the future.
Eventually, you're going to pay the piper.
Right.
You're going to have to pay that debt.
So going back to where we started, so this is a review committee of 11 people, broad experiences that
Right.
say, this doesn't make sense, this is a good idea. They ask questions of whom?
Well, the department heads. The department heads will present their capital projects.
Oh, they gotta come in and talk about it.
we meet in and we interview them. They go over what they want to do and why. And, you know, then through those interviews, we rank them. And if we need more questions, you know, we'll contact them later and get answers to various questions that we may have. And they respond well, you know,
Sounds like a lot of work.
it is a lot of work, you know, and through the process, we, you know, like I say, we rank the projects, and what we go down through, we set up our charts, and we'll have, you know, start at the top of the amount of money that we have for capital projects, then we go through the ranked projects, and we subtract out, and when that money that's available is gone, that's it. That's where you draw the
Doesn't take
line.
long lately.
And part of the projects, you know, like highways and bridges, you know, there's CHIPS funding and other income that comes in for the county that funds those projects. They'll be included in the ranking, but there'll be 0 for what's coming out of the capital budget because it comes out of different funding process.
Would you call the county planning board a watchdog organization?
I wouldn't necessarily say a watchdog, I would say a review organization.
Okay.
Because after we've ranked the projects, and we set up the ranking form initially, you know, rankings from the ranking forms, and then we kind of look at them with a common sense approach. Does this make sense ranking this high? Or should this one be up above that? And once we go through those, then we present our recommendations to the county legislature. And then they review and make changes. Because, you know, from the time that we rank the projects to the time that they're actually going for approval in the budget, there can be changes made. You could have a grant come in that you didn't expect, or you could lose a grant, or, you know, or the department, something will happen and say, well, we no longer need that particular project. So things can change. But in general, usually about 80% of the projects that we recommend are funded by the county legislature.
Excellent. Okay, I just want to share with you that I got a little note here that says our caller that called in earlier gives me an update that she was referring to the state senate. And so if you have a concern about adding a state senator here in New York State and the costs involved, get a hold of Catherine Young. Doug, you know, we're getting down to, remember I told you it's going to go quick. We've got just a couple minutes left here. So Doug, let me ask a final question, and anything you want to add, and I'll give you an uninterrupted time. People, they want to know more about the county planning board. Can they come to a meeting? Is it in secret society here? Do you need a special handshake?
No, it's open meeting. Anybody can come to the county planning board meetings at any meeting. We generally meet the first Tuesday of every month. It's at 4 to 6. We alternate from the Jurassic building here in Mayville or IDA building in Jamestown, usually, and sometimes we'll have special locations that we meet at. But yeah, it's open to the public. If they want to contact anybody, they can call me up if they have questions, or they can call the Department of Planning in Jamestown, and they'll, you know, more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. So,
great. Doug, thanks so much for coming in today. I hope you folks will learn a little bit more about there is an organization, is watching county government, and makes recommendations. I wanted to thank Reed for the opportunity for letting me host the show for the last 3 weeks. I hope our shows have been of interest to you, and maybe brought you a little bit more information about what's going on around here. We heard from the Children's Safety Village 3 weeks ago. Last week I had Helen Barron here talking about the Westfield Memorial Hospital, which is doing great things right here in our area, and Doug Bowen talking about the Chautauqua County Planning Board. Thanks to the guys for putting together the special little clip on the hospice poker run with garden tractors. Doug, you should get into that with some of those big John Deeres of yours. So folks, have a wonderful weekend. The autumn colors are starting to come out, and enjoy Chautauqua County. I don't know how many times we always say, oh, we like to live around here because we got the 4 seasons. Well, it just started yesterday, our 3rd season of the year, and we worry about the 4th season coming up, but enjoy what we got right now. So thanks again to Jeff Zook and Randy Burr for putting together that clip. We like to have a little humor here from time to time. Reed, we hope that you have safe travels and get back here next week. Folks, remember today is the Parent Expo at the Children's Safety Village. If you want to get your child to the Child ID program with the Masons, the Gold Rush is October 15th with the Rotary Club. And I think we're just about out of time, guys. So it's a wrap, and thanks for viewing us, and thanks to Donald Zenz, our cameraman. Have a good weekend, and be safe out there.